Amina and her family left their home in Jilib, about 300 kilometers away, to find food and security in Mogadishu. A severe drought last year meant they could not grow any crops, and they feared for their lives as rival clans fought.
There is nobody left in my village except very old people. There was too much fighting, and we had to leave because there was no food.
At the peak of last year's drought, more than 3 million people were in need of urgent humanitarian assistance. The United Nations says that number's dropped, but only by 500,000.
The humanitarian needs are still very high, and we are still seeing malnutrition levels that are amongst the highest in the world. So that very much warrants our continued attention. At the same time, the progress that we've made shows that we have a much more effective response mechanism in place as compared to 2011, when 250,000 people died.
300,000 children under the age of 5 are malnourished. While the effects of the drought in parts of southern Somalia, including the capital Mogadishu, have eased, more assistance is now needed in the north, where there's been low rainfall. And the UN says 2.7 million people will be in crisis between now and June.
Since the famine in 2011, billions of dollars have been spent on emergency relief. But the government says it can no longer rely solely on foreign aid and must find long-term solutions to conflict, drought and the displacement of people. There have been few national institutions to tackle these challenges, but now the government says it's come up with a plan.
Last year, the government opened a department to deal with humanitarian and disaster management. And it's planning long-term investment for development in rural areas, usually the worst hit by drought.
We have the longest sea coast, as well as we have 2 rivers, we have fertile land. So a country like Somalia is something that could have been avoided a very long time. But because of lack of institutions since 2019, since 1991 up to now, that is why we have seen these droughts keep coming back.
More funding to produce food, including in the agricultural and fisheries sectors, hopes to break the impact of drought and the cycle of suffering. But Somalia's government says it will take time. Fahmida, Al Jazeera, Mogadishu.